Oshinoko Chapter 124 is finally here, and the answer to the big dark looming question over us as to whether Oshinoko was actually going to go down the Ruby X Aqua route is here. In the last chapter, we finally got the reveal where both Aqua and Ruby confessed to each other who they were in their previous lives, something us fans have been pondering ever since they were first reincarnated as Ruby and Aqua. And boy, I did not expect the outcome of this reunion to go down the way it did. Sure, I was expecting the real heartstring-pulling exchange to tug on my emotions, and they did, but for Ruby to then come out with the whole, "Remember you said you'd marry me when I turned 16? Well, you know what, Sensei? I'm 16 now, so come and get a piece of this." It really left me shouting WTF multiple times at the panel. Oshinoko then of course went on a break for a week, and the internet has been going absolutely nuts over this. You know, there was the whole fiasco with the spoilers and the mangaka getting upset about that as well, but we won't get into that here. The chapter begins with Ruby and Aqua, which I'm really glad about because I thought they may sidetrack off of the previous cliffhanger and tease us with what happened, but nah, we're good. So these opening pages are very sus, man. Like straight out, we have Ruby all lovey-dovey over Aqua, and she says, "I'm beat, bro, give me your juice." Like, I know Ruby has been extremely overworked as of late, but going off the last chapter, I had to double take on that. Why exactly are you beat, Ruby? Surely they didn't, right? Surely. The whole exchange between the two of them is very clearly suggestive. Aqua is acting his usual self, but it's like a little additions, you know? It's like, "Let go, you're all sweaty," and Ruby's like, "Nah, just a little bit more." That had my suspicious glare focused straight on them there. Maybe anime and manga has broken my brain into constantly thinking in this lewd manner, but in my defense, Kana is also super shocked, and she's like, "Something must have happened. What's with this distance? You're too clingy." And yet, I think to be fair, Kana is basically reacting off of how Ruby's been lately, especially towards Aqua after he made I's secret public and all. Ruby admits the two have been fighting a lot recently, but they have now patched things up. But it's a little too extreme, isn't it? It's the way Ruby's been drawn in these panels like a girl around her crush, and even the speech bubble has love hearts around it when she says that everything's been reversed. I'm just really suspicious of it all, man. Like, surely not. Ruby is acting far too much like a girl who is swooning, and Aqua is unreadable as always, to be fair. He plays off the sister complex card, but we still have no idea what was said between the two after the last chapter, if talking is all that they did, right? It does indeed get more suggestive on the next page where Ruby pounces into Aqua's lap saying that they've been this close from the beginning. Like, I like the choice of words here because it's very true in the knowledge that they did know each other very well in their past lives, so it's a nice touch, I must say. The next panel though, bro, it's a more detailed image of Ruby in Aqua's lap, but Jesus man, they're really going hard on this and it's sending my brain into overdrive. I mean, Mems sees an opportunity to snap this for the IG, and you gotta appreciate that hustle though, to be fair. Now, there was neither a clear yes or no to the Ruby X Aqua ship here, but it was very suggestive. Hats off to the mangaka for keeping us in a state of meltdown as we frantically need to know if this cursed ship is really a thing. What did you think of these opening pages? Do you think the Aqua X Ruby ship is about to sail? Well, let me know by hitting that like button as it really helps me out. And if you want more of these Oshinoko chapter reviews, then hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be notified. Arigato. Now, let's get back into the chapter. We move on to Kana and Memcho discussing what they just saw and Ruby's current state. Kana definitely saw how overly attached Ruby was to Aqua as a little disturbing. She comments that she just can't get the feeling of naughtiness out of her head. It's too gross and that she's speechless. We all know Kana. She's a straight shooter, and if she says it, you know that's exactly what's going down. She kind of confirms to us here that something is very off about the whole situation, while Mem's just like, I don't want to comment, which I appreciate. Memcho does say that because Ruby's schedule is so jam-packed at the moment, her attachment to Aqua could actually be a really good thing for her. Perhaps it's just Ruby needing to lean on someone while everything is so hectic around her. Kana, as always, is very blunt about it. She's like, yes, it's all well and good to be like this for the sake of your mental health in the here and now, but the real issue here is the workload Ruby has on. It's her schedule that needs fixing. Her little thing, or whatever we're calling it with Aqua, may very well be good for her now. However, the whole situation is going to need something more than just fighting spirit to overcome. It's a really tough situation for Ruby right now. She's at this awkward crossroad where, this is her time to shine, and she needs to work hard to increase her exposure and really seize the opportunities ahead of her that she's worked so hard for. But at the same time, her mental state is nearing the level of exhaustion where she may be more than ready to crumble at any given point. It's just also awkward as she needs to keep pushing harder to increase the exposure, yet if she keeps pushing herself too hard, she'll likely collapse. Now, we get a really funny panel where they also discuss that schoolwork needs to be factored into all of this as well, to which Memcho's like, oh yeah, schoolwork, that's a thing too. I did mine ages ago, so I completely forgot. Like, these situations with Memcho where her age is pointed out, they always make me giggle. She does say that having a good balance is not an easy thing to attain, and amen sister to that. Memcho says that she hopes the Prez does well in that area to help Ruby out, which is a real good way to swing into the main focus of this chapter, which is Miyoko. I feel it's always good when we get some Miyoko in the story. She's such a strong and important character in the series. Unfortunately, it's a Miyoko who is feeling the pressure of Ruby's schedule herself that we see. Ruby's schedule is so full. She needs to juggle live performances, acting lessons, her studies, and all the other appearances she is booked in for, and the job of keeping that timetable in check is all down to Miyoko. Not only that, but of course Miyoko sees both Ruby and Aqua as her kids, so she also has the motherly tendencies to sway into this as well, where, she's very concerned about Ruby's well-being throughout all this too. It's a really tough job. Well, a really tough position for Miyoko to be in, and here we can really see it taking a toll on her. On top of keeping the schedule together, giving Ruby the best chance to increase her exposure, as well as fitting in time for study and rest, she is also having to face a lot of tough decisions. Ruby's popularity is of course skyrocketing, and with that, more job offers come in, including some big ones as we see Miyoko on a phone call getting one for a charity reporter for the 28-hour television. Miyoko is desperately trying to juggle the schedule around to fit this job in, all while being reminded that she already had to adjust Ruby's schedule to fit in time for more acting lessons for film rehearsals. On top of that, of course, Kana is leaving B. Komachi at the end of the year, and a replacement for her needs to be found. To say that it's a stressful time for Miyoko is an understatement. Everything Ruby and Miyoko have worked so hard for is all dependent on this moment. The next 10 years of her career are all dependent on what she does in this moment. Not just for Ruby, but for Strawberry Productions too. To get that top spot was a dream they once had with I, and now Ruby has the chance to make this happen. Now, before moving on, we also get this interesting exchange with Aqua where he tells Miyoko to keep Ruby away from the Asian Tendoji, who of course was revealed to be Serena's mother. This out-of-the-blue statement causes Miyoko to ask why, and Aqua is mysterious about it as always, but interestingly he says, a lot of things happened in the past. They're sort of related. It's possible that Ruby will feel insecure. I like how this must be random AF for Miyoko, but to be fair to Aqua here, he actually just spilled it all out there. To us, with the information and the full story, we know exactly what he means when he says those words. And that's going to be a really interesting situation. You know that Ruby is going to end up coming face to face with Tendoji at some point in the series, and perhaps that will be Ruby's breaking point. Aqua will have to be there for her in that moment, and in doing so, will that push us more towards the Ruby x Aqua ship? Interesting. After this, we see Miyoko fully under pressure by the workload, and she asks out, Ichigo, what would you do? Following this, Miyoko is at a bar. There she is talking to the bartender and they talk about her work and her kids, and we get Miyoko reveal her emotions about Aqua and Ruby here. She says that she wants to be there for them all the time, but she doesn't know what they really think because she isn't their real mother. She says that Aqua always has a sour look on his face and that Ruby always smiles and never complains. It's what goes on behind this that Miyoko can't feel. She can't see who their true selves are beneath this, and it's kind of hard seeing this. Like, I love that she took them on after Ai's passing, and I really do feel like she has been a great motherly figure for the two, especially when you base it on their first encounter way back when. You just really feel for Miyoko here because she would do anything for Aqua and Ruby. She truly feels like they are her own, and she would more than likely die for them. However, there will always be a barrier that she can't overcome in that she isn't their real mother. There's certain things only a mother can feel, and though her bond with them is something special, it will never be the bond bond between a real mother and her children. Unless you're Serena's mother, of course, but I'm sure we'll find out that whole situation soon enough. Now, while airing out her emotions to the bartender, the chapter ends on a really cool moment. Who would walk into the bar than none other than Ichigo himself? How is this one going to go down? Like, how are they going to react? It's been years since the two of them were last together. Miyoko is sure to have some strong words for him, but I can really see this being a reunion of sorts, and Ichigo will come back and help Miyoko out. I'd love to see the two patch things up and continue to work for Strawberry Productions together again. This would really complete their dream and hopefully get Ruby's schedule worked out. As for the Ruby x Aqua ship, well, I'm sure we'll get more of that in the coming chapters. What did you think of this chapter? Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section below. And while you wait for the next video to drop, why not check out this video where I talk about Oshinoko but from the perspective of a YouTuber, and you get to see how Oshinoko really did nail the portrayal of the entertainment industry. Guys, that's it from me. I'll see you soon for some more. Till then, you take care. Peace, peace.